Hello everyone, welcome to a new video of Dr. Cat CanCode. Happy New Year. In this video, I'm going to discuss about the top programming languages to learn in 2022. I also discuss the application trends happening this year and the coming years. For those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Han Duy Phan. I have graduated from my PhD in IT in 2019 at Monash University. Currently, I'm teaching at two top universities. The first one is Monash University, where I'm living in Melbourne, and another one is I'm teaching online for Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology in Vietnam remotely. So before getting to the discussion of the tech trends in 2022, let's have a look at the index by TOB and PYPL at the end of 2020, and at the end of 2021. We can see that there's a big change in the position of programming language popularity. Python has changed from number 3 to number 1. That doesn't surprise me at all because Python is a very easy to pick up language, and it's also very popular in many groups of application. What surprised me is C was top one, and like C was number 1 popular language in 2020, and it dropped to number 2 in 2021. Java dropped from position 2 to position 3. C++ still remain at position 4. And we have C#, Visual Basic, the Microsoft stack, and JavaScript, the language of the internet, is still remaining at position 7. Assembly language are getting more popular now. SQL and Swift, PHP, all these languages in top 20 are the popular language. The popular languages that have a lot of application relying on these languages. Let's have a look at the PYPL index. We can see a similar pattern here. Python still number 1. Number 2 is Java instead of C. Number 3 is JavaScript, and number 4 is C#. The group C and C++ together, which is number 5. PHP number 6 doesn't surprise me at all. So we can see the top languages here from what we see at the end of 2021. And based on my opinions, some of these languages will still be popular in 2022, and they are very useful for you to learn. I personally know most of these languages, like for example, in the TOB index, out of the 20 languages, I think the only few languages that I haven't touched are Go and Ruby and Swift. Yes, so it's easier for a very experienced programmer like me. It's easier to identify or list the languages that I haven't touched in this top 20. So it means the other languages are very popular. Most of all of these languages are very popular, and they have good application as well. And for the purpose of the video, I think I will, based on my opinion, and make a list of the popular languages and their potential usage in the future application. And these are the reasons. The applications are the reason why I think these languages are very important for us to understand, to learn, so that we can follow the trend and use the languages to create the useful application that match the expectation of the user in the future. So the first language that I want to discuss is Python. Python is getting very popular recently due to the fact that this language is a scripting language. It's very easy to learn. The learning curve is a lot lower than other languages like C++ or Java. And with the increasingly popularity, with the increasing popularity of data-driven applications, the languages like Python becomes very popular because they use a lot for data science. Also, Python is used a lot for web backend. There's a lot of Python framework that support you to write quick and powerful, efficient backend for the web applications. But Python is also very useful for some sort of tools, to write some sort of tools. When I was working in a video game company called VNG, I was, at that time, we didn't have a term called DevOps or continuous integration. So I had to use Python to write a tool that automatically collect the code of the different developers, build the products and push it to the test server, and later on to the production server. So Python is great for writing these type of scripts, and it's very easy to start and easy to maintain compared to write a full-fledged software for that purpose in C, C++ or Java. So I can see that the reason why Python is becoming a #1 popular language, although it has its own drawback as well, but it has a lot of advantages. So in the same, when we talk about data-driven technologies, when we see Python, MATLAB, SQL, so these languages are often grouped together, although they kind of competing with each other, but not really directly, you know, like they kind of support each other. And I know all of these. MATLAB, SQL, Python, they are great for writing data-driven applications or scientific application, you know, like, and SQL is like an inevitable part of the data engineering flow, because a lot of the data is stored in the relational database, and you probably need to know SQL to be able to effectively get what you want before you fit the data into MATLAB or Python. Okay, so the next part is the next group of languages that I recommend you to learn are C, C++, and Rust. C and C++ are very old languages, but they are still extremely popular because they are very powerful and they are very useful. They are languages like C are extremely portable. You can write C code in embedded system. You can write it in for microchips. You can write it for fridge, autonomous vehicles, electric vehicles. You also can use C to write the kernel or the components or the modules that require high performance for operating system, or writing the interpreter for other languages. Like, for example, C is used for writing Linux kernel, the operating system, and C also used for writing the one implementation of a Python interpreter. C++ is very similar to C, but it has the component, the object-oriented support. And C++ is used a lot in video games, especially for creating AAA high-quality video games. For example, if you use some high-end engine like Unreal, you probably need to use C++. Rust. Rust is a very modern language compared to C or C++. But they are very similar to each other. Rust borrow a lot of things from C, C++. But the thing is, in C and C++, the developer have to manage the pointers, the memories by themselves, the references as well. Rust will make it safe, memory safe. So that's why it's increasingly popular nowadays, because it has the speed and the power of C and C++, but it is safer to use for the developers. So you can see that learning C, C++, and Rust will be very useful for the future application as well. With the Internet of Things, there's more and more application that there are more and more devices that may need to be written, the developer may need to know C to be able to write application for those Internet of Things devices. And the next in the list, I'm going to talk about C# and Visual Basic. These are the .NET stack of Microsoft. And obviously, Microsoft is still a tech giant, and writing Microsoft application, Windows application, or the .NET web application, C# and VB are very powerful for these purposes. So if you are writing application for Windows, if you are writing the web application using the .NET framework from Microsoft, then C# and Visual Basic are the go-to option for you to learn. PHP. A lot of people say bad things about PHP, but I think that's still a very important part of the internet. That's one of the most important and early languages that shaped the internet. You know, that is used to build the internet. WordPress is still powering a lot of websites on the internet, and it is written in PHP. A lot of forums is written in PHP. Facebook, I think a part of Facebook was written in PHP. So knowing PHP will be useful when you want to work with when you want to join a company that already have infrastructure that use PHP. And because they are so popular, knowing this language make it easier for you to adopt or pick up new projects. Okay, so another very important application trend that will still develop very quickly in the future, that is mobile application. And when we talk about mobile application, we have the two big players. Ones are the mobile phones that use Android operating system. Another one are the devices that running the iOS of Apple. So and the majority of the phones are actually running the Android operating system. And to be able to write native application on these Android devices, you need to know Java. And there are two dialects of Java called Kotlin and Groovy. So these are two languages that are also compatible to the Java virtual machine. So you can write these languages together in one project, and they still work well with each other. So I grouped these three together: Java, Kotlin, and Groovy. And definitely it's very rewarding to know these languages as well, especially Java, not only for mobile application. There's a lot of application, web applications still use Java, especially the enterprise. They use Java for their backend or for web development a lot. They are, because it is reliable, it has battle tested, and also it has a lot of libraries, useful library being developed over time for Java ecosystem. JavaScript and TypeScript. There's no, I don't need to introduce use about JavaScript anymore. It is the programming language of the internet, right? Without JavaScript, your website doesn't actually do much, you know. And with the support of the the one-page application framework like React.js, Vue.js, or you can write more sophisticated front-end application in JavaScript, and it makes the web application feel like and actually behave very similar to the desktop application. Also, JavaScript can be used to write back-end code as well with the support of Node.js. And you also can use JavaScript to write a cross-platform application using some framework like Cordova that allow you to run the web application on a phone and accessing to the native features of the phones. JavaScript also can be used to write desktop application with the help of the tools like Electron. TypeScript is like the on top of the JavaScript, and it supports strong typing. It means your application is more scalable. It's easier to be maintained when there are more developers and when the architectures of the application become more complex. So TypeScript will make JavaScript more suitable for larger projects. And the trend will still be focusing a lot on web application in the future, alongside with the mobile phone application and the increasingly smaller market for the desktop applications. And with the new technology in the web application, for example, the WebAssembly, and nowadays you can write a very efficient and fast modules or components that run in your website using C, C++, or Rust. Okay, so that's why knowing C, C++, and Rust becomes very useful, because you can write low-level efficient code that can run on a website, on a web application, thanks to the new technology called WebAssembly. And the WebAssembly will run the C, C++, or Rust function, but interface with the web with the normal web page using JavaScript. So you can see how these things connect to each other nicely. And you can write a very high performance desktop-like experience for the web application. For example, if you want to do some complex 3D animation, and talking about complex web application with 3D graphics, or with require a lot of resource. We're talking about the future of the internet, right? The future of the World Wide Web. So a lot of people are talking about Web3, because I feel like we are pushing to what the Web3 with all the existing technology. All the existing technology actually help us to push to what Web3 at the moment. And we can see that this is going to be the trend in 2022, also in the next few years. And apart from the technology for the webs, like WebAssembly or single page application, we also have the new things called blockchains. So with the modern blockchains like Ethereum, you can use smart contract to write the decentralized application. Another term is called decentralized finance application, or DApp, that utilize these blockchains, so that the application don't just do whatever we have before, but it also has the decentralized factor in it, and also allow us, the creator, to make money easily without having to go through the central payment system, like paying through the Google Store or Apple App Store. I think this will be the new trend. There's a stronger connection between the creator and the consumer without the middleman, and that could be the fundamental of that push Web3 to become more realistic over the next few years. The advancement of the web technology, more secure, also higher performance, decentralized finance. So these are the key components that push Web3 forward. There could be something new that we can't imagine yet, but metaverse will be part of Web3. It just there will be many metaverse, and it's same as we have so many blockchains, right? And many of them support smart contracts, and but the fundamental are still the web technology. So we can see that knowing JavaScript very well, knowing C++ very well, knowing Python very well will be useful for the future, especially when we will see a lot more data-driven application, a lot more decentralized applications, and yes, I'm excited to see what the futures have for us. Okay, thanks for watching the video, guys. Don't forget to click the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to make it easier for yourself to see my next videos. Happy New Year and goodbye. See you in my next video. Goodbye.